We're barreling towards the end of the year, and January 1st is the deadline for you to make a deal with the bank if you're in forbearance, because if you haven't done that yet, you're gonna face foreclosure and it's gonna be a huge problem. We are in the last chance few months before the government rules that are protecting you from foreclosure are gonna expire. And once that expiration happens, then there's not gonna be any more assistance for you and for your family to keep your home. We're gonna talk about all that in 3 seconds. I was a young attorney in 2008 when the last crash happened. At that time, a lot of people who could not pay their mortgages were trying to get loan modifications and other workout options from the bank. I represented a lot of people at that time, and what I saw was that a lot of people, even though they could qualify for loan modifications, either it didn't make sense to take one, or they were unable to produce the documents the banks needed to verify their income so that they could qualify for loan modifications. That caused a lot of people to lose their homes. No matter how hard you tried, a lot of people, even if they qualified, were denied and they lost their homes. A lot of the same things are occurring again, but the government is trying to do everything in its power to avoid the same explosion of foreclosures and the huge loss of home ownership that happened after the 2008 crash. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is an organization that was created after 2008 that has issued new rules that are going to try to help people stay in their homes. It's not going to work for everybody, but at least it's something very different that happened after 2008, where quite honestly there was nothing, and the things that existed were really terrible and did not help a lot of people. Now the new rule basically is, and we've talked about this in other episodes of my YouTube channel here, is that there are no new foreclosures until the beginning of 2022, January 1st of 2022. Simply put, that means that if you are in a forbearance situation right now, or you have defaulted since January 1st of 2020, the banks cannot start a new foreclosure against you. Now, they must offer you they must review you for a loan modification before they can start a foreclosure. So you have to apply for a loan modification and see what happens. If the bank denies your loan modification after the review, then they can start a foreclosure. However, they must try to review everybody who is either in a forbearance right now or was in a forbearance or has defaulted since March of 2020 or January of 2020. What that means is that if you were in a forbearance or you're still in a forbearance and you cannot pay your mortgage, the bank has to try to modify your loan. However, it's a double-edged sword. The problem is that that's all the bank has to do. They don't actually have to give you a loan modification. All they have to do is review you for a loan modification. So you can be denied. The review is all that has to happen. The problem is a lot of people, especially people with non-government backed loans, are being asked to submit full applications with their loan modification requests. These full applications require income verification and other things that a lot of people have a lot of trouble with, especially if you're self-employed or if you have income from various sources like Social Security, or you receive help from the government, or you receive help from other people who live with you or boarders. A lot of people are unable to produce the documents necessary to get loan modifications, and that's a huge problem. So the other big thing is that if you're denied, the Biden administration created the Homeowners Assistance Fund, which we've talked about in other videos, which is a huge pot of money that's there specifically for people who have been denied for loan modifications and have no other options. The HAF money is out there. It's not going to be available till next year, but in order to access the HAF money, you have to at least try to get a loan modification first. The government's going to ask you to prove that you tried to get a loan modification and you were denied. At that point, then you would possibly qualify for a half grant. The half grants are money that are basically free money that's given to you to make your mortgage current or to help you with other housing related expenses. It's a very big deal. Things are very different than 2008 now. There are more options and the houses are worth more versus in 2008 when the house values crashed. In the last 2 years, house values have increased. Now, that doesn't help you if you can't make the old mortgage payment, but at least you might be able to sell or you might be able to get out of your house and keep some of the money. Or you can qualify possibly for the half grant and get some money to save your home.